We've got some unusual starts to RedArmy.TV this season. Nothing more unusual than Albert Bridge. We're over the border. I'd have got myself into trouble doing this walk at night about 10-15 years ago. But we are, of course, RedArmy.TV. We've got Sunderland to talk about, fantastic 3 points. We've also got Fulham in the Cup. Coca-Cola, Milk, League, English League. I don't know what it's called these days, but it was a struggle. And we are, of course, bringing you the show from there.
Have we started yet?
Come on, boy, we can beat these Saturday.
Come on, lads, believe, come on!
And what a struggle it turned out to be at Craven Cottage. More on that a little bit later. But joining me in the studio for this week's show, Chris Joseph, former chairman of the Middlesbrough Official Supporters Club, Mosque. You are a Mosque, ex-Mosque chairman. And talking of Mosque, we have the publicity guru, the current publicity guru, and he of winged heels from the Speedo Dash around the Riverside last season against Everton. Lee Fisher, he was one of the successful ones. I was one of the slobbish ones. But welcome to the programme, fellas. Chris, you wanted to start this show by saying the famous words.
Yeah, we can concentrate on the league now.
Good man. More on Fulham very shortly. Let's do it chronologically, fellas. The high point of the week was Sunderland. And we're going to get lots of these bugs around because we're in downtown Middlesbrough at the middle and death of night filming this with lights on, so lots of bugs around. Lee, I'll start with you first. Sunderland, how impressed were you with the first 45?
Very impressed, to be fair. It was just like Stoke City in the first game of the season where typical derby for the first 10 minutes before Sturani scored that wonder goal. No goalkeeper in the world would have saved that top right-hand corner. Perfect goal. And then the second goal was good team play all the way through from down the wings, cut in where Negero passed it to Christian Sturani, and then lovely open goal basically. So it was a very good start. Thought Sunderland did come back to it in the second half.
Which you'd expect.
Yeah, which you expect. And then we struggled after Ramirez went off for the last 25 minutes or so.
I'll ask Chris about Gaston. Gaston coming off, it seemed to be a bit of a watershed in the game. Suddenly we were back on our heels, we had nobody to hold the ball up front. Am I reading too much into it, or did it change the game?
It did change the game, and it does change the game. It changed it against Stoke as well, because he came off pretty much at the same time against Stoke. And what happens is we lose, we then move 20 yards back down the pitch, and we're on the defensive. And he works so well with Negredo, it's just a bit odd that he's taken off. I can see that we wanted to defend the lead, but at the same time, we ended up conceding a goal. So.
But Lee's touched on two great goals, one an individual, one a team goal. You must have been pleased seeing.
Absolutely.
And obviously delighted coming away from Mackhamland with 3 points.
Absolutely delighted, yeah. I mean, also I think psychologically, when we scored the goals, we scored the first one quite early in the game, and the second one we scored just before half time. So psychologically we went in 2-0 up and looking really good. And but as I say, I think we then decided, which is what we did against Stoke, we decided to sit back and try and retain the lead, and rather than kicking on and seeing whether we could get some more.
Okay, so that's the studio views. What about your views? Our man with the cam, Mark, has been out and about to find out what you had to say following the Sunderland game. Here it is.
I watched the game yesterday. I thought we played fantastic in the first half. I don't know how David Moyes says they didn't deserve to be 2-0 down. I thought we thoroughly deserved to be 2-0 up. I thought Sturani was fantastic.
Sunderland game was, to me, was good start. We did linger a bit at the back, but we were strong enough and we just kept going. Nice to have 3 points rather than 1 point.
On Sunday against Sunderland, I thought we played well for the first 65 minutes.
I thought it was fantastic, just what we needed. Go away to the Stadium of Light
and bring the 3 points back.
And as we saw last week on RedArmy.tv, we are going to be bringing you, courtesy of Joe Nicholson, the match report. Here are his views.
So, Borough are up and running with their first victory of the new Premier League season after a 2-1 win away at Sunderland. A very important victory. It may still only be the second week of the season, but it's always important to get that first 3 points on the board, and hopefully Middlesbrough can build momentum after this result. Sunderland actually started quite lively in the game. They started well in the first 10 minutes. Adnan Januzaj looked very dangerous early on, but Borough took the lead through a fantastic strike through Christian Stuani, who justified his selection on the right-hand side. Stuani then made it 2-0 right on the stroke of half-time after some good hold-up play from Alvaro Negredo. And Borough overall did well in that first half. They took the sting out of the game when they had to. They kept possession very well, especially through Adam Forshaw, who really took his opportunity in midfield. But in the second half, Borough began to sit off again like they did in the opening game against Stoke, and Sunderland did have chances to get back in the game. They got one back with 20 minutes to go through Patrick van Arnholt, but Borough managed to hang on. They defended very well again. Antonio Barragan was very impressive once again alongside Ben Gibson in defence, and Borough managed to hang on to get their first 3 points of the season.
So to your tweets then, just to finish the Sunderland match, even though I'd like to talk about it all night, but we've got plenty of stuff to get through. Daniel Radix, first win of the season, made hard work of it in the second half, but says a lot that we can hold on to the lead. Great 3 points. Ryan Smith, get in, quality, I love Borough. What a way to get our first 3 points. Can't agree more. And Justin Hoyt, Justin Hoyt. Got to say I'm a neutral fan today because I've played for both teams, but I've got to say Borough were playing some really good stuff this afternoon. So Justin Hoyt, the pros, watching us, of course, on RedArmy.tv. Quick one, though, on Forshaw. I've got to ask you about Forshaw, fellas. Stuart Whittingham, our Stuart Whittingham, he king of social media and stuff. Worldy pass by Forshaw for the goal, and we give credit to Sunderland for coming back. No, we don't. But Joe Tyndall, opposite view about Forshaw. I seem to be in the minority who think that though Forshaw did well for the goal, he was suspect for a lot of time in the game. Now, I've been impressed with Forshaw, Lee. What have you been?
I think he's been a forgotten man for most of his Borough career. I think this is his opportunity to basically bring a starting berth, and he's done really well. I put him as my man in match for the first game against Stoke City. I think he brought something different to Man Darun, who went off with a hamstring injury. He gives that bit of forward pass. He always looks to do a forward pass rather than Adam Clayton, who is nice and settled pass to the sides. He actually tries and attacks and looks for the forward ball first time.
Clayton was fantastic last season, very productive. But I think, in my view, and it's only my view, you can disagree with me, I'm sure you do. But for me, Forshaw's been more productive at the start of this Premier League season, Chris.
Well, Forshaw seems to be more creative, and he's got a very low centre of gravity. He does a little. He's quite prepared to go forward, and he's produced. I mean, that second goal against Sunderland was an absolutely beautiful pass, and he knew exactly what he was doing when he went past that player. I
taught him that, you know.
You taught him that,
yeah.
I thought
lying. Another player who made the mark, and we don't have to talk about Negredo because we all know how wonderful he is and fantastic. You know, scores in the opening game of the season, and then plays. I mean, the most unselfish act I've seen in a long time. A lot of the strikers would have had a goal when he pulled it back, obviously for Stuani at the Stadium of Light. But he's obviously caught the imagination of the fans. Have you seen the video?
Alvaro Negredo, number 10 for mighty border. Quick, he's strong, he can't be back to forward like no other. Punch the ball into the net, the Reds, they are a roaring. We've got the beast from Spain and he just can't stop scoring.
If you would like to send us your songs, silly dances, mime acts, whatever it is, you know the usual, studio@RedArmy.tv is our email address. You can get it to us via social media as well. However you want to send it, by carrier pigeon. We'll play it if you send it, as long as we're allowed to legally. Now, Sunderland 3 points, that was the high. Yeah. We can't avoid it any longer. And that's why we're recording it so late at night. We were wanting to see the game and see the result. We're out of the cup. We can concentrate on the league, Chris. My fear is we did something similar in the FA Cup last season, and it seemed to knock our end in when we lost to Burnley. Could this have a negative impact on us Premiership-wise, going out to the English League Cup, ELC, whatever it's bloomin' called these days?
I think we've gone out early, so it's, you know, we've gone out in the first round effectively. So, sorry, there's a train coming.
Yeah, well, just above Middlesbrough Station. So we'll plough on through it and we'll carry on through it. There's a railway station just below. You were saying we went out early.
Yeah, we're out of it early enough. I'm hoping there haven't been any major injuries. There seem to. I mean, Fabio got injured at the beginning of the game. There was a danger that Friend was going to get injured because he got clobbered as well. So you know, it's. I mean, I've lost to fiver as a bet, which I'm very disappointed in because I had us down as a fiver to win the cup competition. But never mind. We'll concentrate on the league.
I think we need to send somebody out for the tissues. You'll be crying before the programme's out. Lee, have you got any fears about the negative impact it might have on us?
No, not really, to be fair with you. I'd rather concentrate on being in the Premiership, Premier League. Yeah, it's disappointing. We should have had... The team we played tonight was good enough to at least get through to the next round. I put us down to actually draw 1-1 in the first 90 minutes and then win in extra time 3-1. So I was always thinking that Fulham would always be a hard game to go to, but I still expected the players that we brought in, like Victor Fisher's, the David Nugent's, Fabinho, to come in and do well in the game. So yeah, disappointed, but not too disheartened.
Hang on a minute, that seemed a long train. Just going to have a look. Station's just below, you know. We're a Premier League team though, Chris. Irrespective of whether it's good or bad not to have a distraction when we're trying to secure our place in the Premier League, we should be winning games like a trip to Fulham now, shouldn't we? We're bigger than what we were in the Championship.
We should be, but you know, we just got to take it on the chin and say we didn't. I mean, you know, so it went to extra time. We were fully expecting it to go to penalties, and we would have been here all night waiting for the outcome. But fortunately, it didn't. So we're here at least. And as I say, you know, it's not the end of the world. We've gone out early enough. You know, because a lot of the cup competitions last year and the year before, exciting as they were quite major distractions to what was actually going on in the league in our attempt to get promoted. And as Lee's just rightly said, you know, the priority this year is consolidation in the Premiership. So.
I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that this year it doesn't come and bite us on the bum and starts a bad run. We want a good result against West Brom. One man who was not too happy is our wicked reporter, Leo. Leo Joseph's been down to Craven Cottage. This is what he made of the game.
Well, what can you say? It's 2-1 away from home, and Fulham thoroughly deserved it. We didn't look that good. We couldn't really pass the ball that well or keep it. They fought harder for every single ball. Now we're facing an injury crisis at left back because Fabio looked all right and then got injured, and then George Friend looked even better and then got injured. And for me, it raises one question about Brad Guzan. I don't think he's good enough, and if we're replacing Dimmy with him, I think a lot of people are going to be quite unhappy. And other than that, hopefully it's just a case of us playing a weakened team, but we didn't look that strong against Fulham. Hopefully we look a lot better against West Brom at the weekend.
So the quicker we move on from Fulham and that not victory, the better as far as I'm concerned. I suppose from bad news to bad news. We talking news now. There were hopes towards the back end of last week a solution may have been found to cure the parking problems in and around the riverside with Sainsbury's opening a car park. I mean, I was central to it. You probably read it in the Gazette. We approached Sainsbury's and put a proposal to them in which would have benefited the fans because there would have been places to park, would have benefited the town because we don't have this nonsense around the riverside, and it would have benefited the MFC Foundation because we did suggest giving 50% of all profits to the borough charity. Didn't happen. It's disappointing, but we've decided to cheer it up somewhat and have a bit of fun, haven't we?
Yeah, why not?
Competition time. Little fella CD, we'll get an Ali Brownlee t-shirt thrown in there as well. If you can come up with some slogans for our friends at Sainsbury's. We've had a go ourselves, just a couple of ideas. Have a look at this one. Sainsbury's, making you walk further. Nice. Here's another one. Sainsbury's, park somewhere else today. And the one I like, because it ties in a little bit with their current slogans. Sainsbury's, we couldn't car less. He's responsible for that one. Anyway, talking of Sainsbury's and car parking, let's catch up with RedArmy.tv news. Here's Chris' story.
As the lads have been discussing, we start with parking around the riverside. Sainsbury's have confirmed they'll not be opening the unused Middlehaven car park. RedArmy.tv and Middlesbrough Council thought they'd removed all the obstacles that were in the way of the supermarket giant, helping them relieve parking congestion on match days. However, Sainsbury's told the Gazette it will not be opening the car park because of safety, security and operational issues. Secondly, Aitor Karanka's asking for a positive response to the extra-time defeat at Fulham. The Borough boss pointed a finger at the team's attitude after the game, saying we were wrong to think that when we scored the game is finished. Borough's chance of redemption comes quickly with this weekend's trip to the Hawthorns to take on West Brom. And finally, congratulations to Dale Fry and his call up to the England under-20s side to face Brazil next month. The 18-year-old's hoping to feature in the starting 11 at Kidderminster on September the 4th. And don't forget, if you want to get in touch, you can. Email us at studio@redarmy.tv or through social media at Borough Red Army.
And again, if you'd like to make your Sainsbury's suggestions, nice little slogans, get them into us here at redarmy.tv. Usual email address, studio@redarmy.tv. Dead easy, isn't it? Studio, where we are, at Red Army, what we're called, .tv. You can send us them via social media, you can tweet them, you can Facebook them, or as I said earlier, you can send them by carrier pigeon. Whoever comes up with the most wittiest in the next 5 or 6 days will get their hands on a little fella CD. You remember that? Janino, oh, yeah. Sad that I was when I produced it. And also a Brownlee t-shirt, one of our own. Let's look back at the last couple of games. We lost Victor Valdez after the Stoke match, fellas. Brad Guzan's come in, and we saw at Sunderland, he didn't hold the ball. Sunderland scored a goal from it, but we hung on to get 3 points, so that's great. Obviously, parrying shots, not holding shots. Are there any concerns for you, Chris, in terms of while Victor's out and Brad's in?
What concerns me about the whole Brad Guzan purchase in the first place is that he came from Aston Villa. He didn't exactly have the best season last season, and although one season doesn't make somebody a bad player, his confidence must be shot to bits. And yes, it's a great move coming to the Borough where we're riding on the crest of a wave, but at the same time, I was worried at Sunderland. He went through the jitters in the second half of the game, and today apparently he's made mistakes, or he's not been, and we know we've lost at Fulham. We're obviously stuck with the situation. We aren't stuck with the situation actually, because we've got Dimmy sitting on the bench. We still don't know whether Mahias or Dimmy is going to stay. We are stuck with the situation where Valdez can't play at the moment because he's injured his shoulder. But I've got to be honest, with Guzan, I think. I just wonder with my one arm whether I should be in goal instead.
Oh, harsh. Lee, we can't forget though, he is American international. Yeah. He's played World Cups. He's played at the highest level that the game, can throw you away. So he does have experience. I mean, surely we can't forget that.
I thought in the first half he made, just before the goal where he parried it, he made a quality save to deny the first goal where it crossed him. And
he got down quickly.
He did get down. Yeah, his confidence did get knocked after the ball rebounded off his chest, and he made a second error later on, which didn't penalise us, luckily, that time. It would have been nice to see Dimmy actually play tonight in the cup rather than Brad. I just think that Dimmy deserves a chance to deputise Victor Valdez in goal after all the clean sheets he kept last season and the season before. What can you say? 20 odd clean sheets in 46 matches in the league.
But they were the championship.
Yeah, championship, but it's still 20 plus goals, best defensive record in the whole top four, wasn't it?
Okay.
So
I think the other thing is that with Guzan, I mean, if you're West Brom and you saw the last game and you probably have representatives there tonight, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to be taking pot shots at him from a distance in the hope that he's going to spill them on Sunday, and that's very worrying.
We'll come on and talk about West Brom, but I want to lighten the mood a little bit. Permission to?
Yeah.
Thank you. Jeremy McMurray has been in touch with RedArmy.tv, and he's basically said, can you give my song a plug? Now, you may have seen it on YouTube. It's all in a good cause, Butterwick Hospice. The idea is they've recorded a song, nice little ditty, catchy one, where you can sing along, and that's the idea. Film yourself singing along to it, post it on YouTube, and then make a donation to the Butterwick Hospice. And we'll put up on the screen shortly exactly the website you can go to, so you'll get a good shout to that. But nothing better than having a look at the song itself. It is called Up the Borough's Going Up, I think. But it's what Jeremy sent in. Have a look at this. Tell us what you think. Can you make a better version? Here you go.
Yes, we are going to the Premiership, the Borough team. With Steve Gibson and Karanka, what a perfect team. There's Stu Downing, Adam Clayton, Constantopoulos and Rhodes. With the Doma and Ramirez and Stuani scoring goals. Through the good times and the bad times, we've been there for you. Dancing samba, singing, chanting, raising spirits too. We're the 12th man, don't forget us, there's some angels through and through. We are marching to the Premiership to conquer this prize too. Up the bar, here we come, where the smog is on the run, run, run. And our team, they strive and fight. There's some angels, red and white. Alistair Brownlee, what a hero, we'll remember him. Then there's Ayala Gibson and then Suey in defence. Ratlet, Bitter and then Nugent, Forshaw, Callis and Galat. What a team of cracking players in their strips of red and white. Up the bar, here we come, where the smog is on the run, run, run. And the team, they rule with might. There's some angels, red and white.
I was going to sing it, but do you know what? Me singing, nah. Forget it. Forget the idea. I won't even do it for charity, great mate. What do you think of the song then, Chris? You going to sing along? You going to record a version?
No, well, I don't think so. But I can understand why the guy who's singing it is wearing sunglasses. He obviously doesn't want to be recognised.
Oh, he is venomous Joseph tonight, isn't he? He always like this, man.
Well, no, we just lost, haven't we?
Yeah, fair enough. Lee, are we going to see you on a video to appear on YouTube singing the song?
if anyone who knows me sees my live Facebook shots, no, I can't sing. I'm tone deaf, and plus I actually know the person who played the instruments in that original song to that. So
it's witty.
It
It's
is
a
witty,
witty
actually,
ditty,
and
isn't it?
I hope it does make a good amount of money for the Butterwick. Actually,
The only problem with it is all day when I went into the edit suite and we started messing about with it, I've had this thing going on in my head all the time. Dee-dee-dee-dee. So it's a bit catchy, so you've got to be careful with it. So if you'd like to help the Butterwick Hospice, come on, get your camera on your iPhone or whatever you've got. Shoot yourself, not shoot yourself literally, but film yourself singing the song.
or pay me not to sing
Right,
it.
West Brom, here we go. Just to finish off on, quick word, looking ahead. What are you expecting?
Well, I'm expecting the first team, a good first team, a consistent first team now from the last couple of games. And I'm expecting us to do much better than we did tonight, to be honest. I think it's we've been quite lucky with the way the fixtures have come out at the beginning of this season. We've got, if we can get 7 points out of our first 9 points, we've done very well indeed. And it's a great start. So.
Is the unbeaten run going to continue, Lee?
Yeah, I think that we should be going to West Brom, aiming to get at least a away point. Tony Puris will always set out to have a strong defensive unit, always will do, and they've got a threatening striker in Roundon, I think he's called. But I'm just worried that with the injuries that we had from tonight's cup game, who will play at left back if George is injured still. I think it'll end up being a 1-1 draw on Sunday.
So no 3 points to come back with,
No.
but a point. Are you happy with a point, Chris, if it turned out to be that way?
If it has to be, it has to be, but I'd prefer 3.
No, absolutely. We're all greedy. We all want 3
Yeah.
points for the Borough, don't we? That's it for another show. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Hey, patio on Teesside. It's fantastic. It's getting a bit cold now, isn't it? Winter's coming on. West Brom, here we come. Fingers crossed for that one. Don't forget RedArmy.tv, social media. We're all over the place. The website. Give us your views. Give us your rants. We want all that sort of stuff. If you want to send us an email, studio@redarmy.tv. That's studio@redarmy.tv. We want to hear from you. We'll catch you next week. Up the Borough. See you then.
Come on, boy, we can beat these Saturday.
Come on, lads, believe, come on!